Hello friends. So in my previous lecture I discussed about the concept of human resource management, how it evolved over time beginning from the Industrial Revolution in the 1850s, where people were considered to be mere commodities and they were exploited by the rich factory owners who just wanted to earn profits, and they were least concerned about the welfare of the people working for them. Moving on to the current human resource management or even human capital management, where people are considered to be resources and assets for the organization. We also discussed about the concept through various definitions of human resource management, like how various authors and researchers have defined this concept in their own manner. Then I discussed about the difference between personnel management, as this concept was earlier known as personnel management, and how it is different from the current or contemporary human resource management approach. I also gave you some insights about how Chanakya, in his treatise Arthashastra, which was written for Chandragupta Maurya, can be correlated in today's times, and those quotes of Chanakya are still relevant in today's times. So his quotes can be correlated with contemporary human resource issues that the organizations are facing today. I also discussed about the nature of human resource management, that is, what are the key characteristics of this construct. So in continuation to my earlier lecture, I will begin with the functional scope of human resource management, and then we will discuss the objectives of human resource management, followed by the functions and significance of HRM. We shall also discuss that what are the limitations, that what inhibits the proper growth and effective working of the human resource management departments. And lastly, we shall try to figure out that how people lend competitive advantage to an organization. So let's begin with the functional scope of human resource management. So the functional scope or the functional activities of human resource management begin from the human resources planning, the job analysis design, recruitment and selection, orientation and induction, training and development, performance appraisals, compensation planning and remuneration, and more contemporary are the motivation, welfare, health and safety of employees, where lots of emphasis is being given on the health and safety of the employees working for an organization. And of course, there is the more traditional aspect, that is industrial relations. So all these functional areas of human resource management shall be dealt with in a more elaborate manner in my subsequent lectures. So today I will give you a brief outlook of all these activities. So to begin with, the first functional scope is the human resources planning. It may be defined as the process which identifies the number of jobs vacant, that whether the company has excess staff or whether it has shortage of staff, and to deal with the excess or shortage. Or it may be defined in a simpler manner, or in simple words, it is the systematic analysis of HR needs to ensure that at any given point of time there are correct number of employees who have the necessary skills and competencies, and they are appointed where they are required. So, that is very important. So, the activities of human resource planning include inventorying, that is assessing the present strength of the organization, then forecasting the future needs depending on the changing requirements or changing strategies of the organization. So, the human resource planning department will do the forecasting, and likewise it will anticipate that what is the comparison of the present and the future requirements. Further, it will take necessary actions and plan how to meet the future requirements of human resources. So, let us have a look at the human resource planning process. So, after scanning the internal as well as the external environment of the organization, the strategic planning of the human resource department begins. So, they will assess the demand and supply of the human resources, and if the demand is equal to the supply, obviously there will be no action taken by the human resource department. But if there are surplus of workers, then the human resource department will restrict hiring or slow down with the hiring process, then layoffs could be taken and downsizing will take place. However, if there is shortage of workers at any given time, then the human resource department will come into action and they will start with the recruitment and selection process. The second functional scope is the job analysis design. Well, a job analysis design is a systematic process of collecting number of informations related to the nature of job, the qualities and qualifications of the potential candidates who shall be performing that job, the physical and mental capabilities that are required to perform, and what are the duties and responsibilities of the person or the candidate who shall be appointed for that particular job, along with the necessary skills required to perform a job, the working conditions and the environment for doing that job. So, in nutshell, a job analysis gives us a detailed explanation about the minutest part of a job. So, each and every job in the company is discussed in the job analysis, like how the job will be done, why the job is to be done, what is actually to be done, when it is to be done, where it is to be done, and by whom it shall be done. Research has shown that an efficient and a good job analysis is associated with greater employee satisfaction, better performance, and greater employee productivity. So, the next important functional scope of human resource management is the recruitment and selection. So, based on the information collected from the job analysis and depending upon the future strategies of the company prepares an advertisement and publishes them in the newspapers, and the potential candidates apply for that particular job. So, the organization develops a certain pool of candidates, the potential candidates. So, this process is referred to as recruitment. So, the organization gets several applications after the advertisement is published, of course. So, if there are large number of applications and large number of people are showing interest in your organization, then the organization might be conducting some written tests to screen various candidates, and further interviews are also conducted and the right employee is selected. So, this process is called as selection. So, these are very crucial scope or functional scope of human resource management. Next comes the orientation and induction. So once the employees have been selected, an induction or orientation program is conducted for the new employees. So in the orientation, the employees are informed about the background of the company, the organizational culture, the values, the work ethics of the organization, and they are also introduced to other employees working in the organization. So it is just like an ice breaking function. Another important aspect is the training and development of employees. So it is a process of providing the required skills to the employees for doing the job effectively, skillfully and qualitatively. So training is a periodic process that keeps the employees updated and also improve their performance on the job. So training is conducted both for the existing employees as well as the new entrants or new staff that are appointed. So training can be of two types. It can be on the job, like job rotation is there, or off the job, where through seminars, conferences or classroom teaching, the staff members are given the training. So we shall be discussing all these aspects of training in my subsequent lectures. Then comes the performance appraisal. So the process of assessing employee performance by comparing their present performance with already established standards, which are communicated well in advance to the employees. So the main purpose of performance appraisal is providing feedback to the employees so that they can improve their performance if it is not matching to the desired or the required levels, and based on these appraisals, the future promotions, the incentives or increments in the salary of the employees is decided. The next aspect is the compensation planning and remuneration. So there are various rules regarding the compensation and other benefits that are given to the employees working. So it is the job of the HR department to look into equitable remuneration and compensation plans so as to retain them in their organizations. So the next contemporary functional scope of human resource management is the motivation, their welfare, their health and safety. So when I say health, it is not only the physical health of employees that we talk of. It is high time that we discuss the mental health of the employees as well. Also, motivation again is an important aspect of employees. It is important to retain and engage employees in the company. So the HR department forms certain strategies to motivate them, to look after the physical and mental health of the employees working, and also provide a safe and secure environment conducive to work. And apart from this, there are certain health and safety regulations that have to be followed for the benefits of the employees. And last but not the least, there is the functional scope of industrial relations. So maintaining cordial relations with the union members is very crucial in today's scenario, because this helps the organization to prevent any kinds of conflicts, strikes, lockouts, so that there is a smooth working in the company. So after discussing the functional scope, let's come to the objectives of human resource management. So the primary aim of human resource management is to meet the human capital requirement of an organization. So, here we discuss the 4 vital objectives of human resource management. So, these are the 4 vital objectives of HRM. The first being the societal objectives, the organizational objectives, the functional objectives, and the personal objectives. So, let us discuss each one of them. Societal objectives. So, we all know that any organization is operating in a society. So, obviously, it has certain duties towards the society in which it is operating. So, an organization is not operating in a vacuum or in isolation. It is using resources from the society. So, it is the organization's responsibility and its duty to benefit the society. So, it is obligatory for any organization to fulfill its ethical and social responsibilities, which can be only done through the people or the human resources. So, the organization must use its people for the benefit of the society and should not do or engage in anything that harms the society, be it the environment or by exploiting or over exploiting the resources of the society. So, these are the societal objectives of human resource management. The next we talk of the functional objectives. So, the basic function we have already understood of human resource management is to ensure that every department in the organization is supplemented with the employees having the required set of skills and talent at the desired cost, and to provide for the optimum utilization of the human capital. So, at all given points of time, there should be optimum utilization of the human capital or the human resources. So, let us talk of the personal objectives now. So, to ensure employees' long-term association with the organization and to enhance the employees' commitment and contribution towards the organization must also help the employees achieve their personal goals. So, if for example, I am working in an organization, I have my certain personal goals. So, if those goals are not achieved, if those goals are not even taken care of, then will I be able to perform to the best of my abilities? No, perhaps not, right? So, achieving personal goals is very crucial for an organization. So, an organization can achieve its goals only if the personal goals of each and every employee working in the organization are achieved. Only then there can be a long-term association between the employee and the organization. And it is only through personal goals that employees feel engaged, they contribute towards the organization, and they are committed to the success of the organization. So, achieving personal objectives of the employees is very crucial. Next is the organizational objective. So, to recognize the role of human resource management in bringing about organizational effectiveness. So, every organization that works, of course, works for effectiveness, and by effectiveness, every organization might be having its own parameters, but ultimately they all want to achieve effectiveness. It can be through customer retention, it can be through higher productivity or greater profitability, or employee satisfaction or employee retention. So, that must be recognized, and also human resource management is not an end but a means to assist the organization achieve its goals. So, let us study some of the functions of human resource management. So, these are some of the functions of human resource management: the planning, staffing, developing, monitoring, maintaining, managing relationships, managing change and evaluating. So, let us have a look at them. So, planning is basically preparing forecasts for HR needs as per the vision, the mission and strategies of the organization, depending on, of course, the environmental changes. Then it ascertains the net requirements for the staff by determining the levels of the demand for and supply of the human resources now and in the future. So, planning is obviously done for the future, but we have to look at what we have today and how we can meet the changes of tomorrow. So, that is planning. The next function is staffing. So, in staffing, the hiring of people is done with appropriate abilities, competencies and skills, and the key practices that are included in staffing are the human resource planning, job analysis, recruitment and selection that we discussed in the previous section. Then comes developing. So, after assessing the gaps between the current and the desired knowledge, skills and abilities of the employees, the human resource department helps the employees advance in their careers through training and personality development programs and facilitate the maximum potential for their development on all fronts. And this can be done by providing resources for a continuous development of the people of the organization. And when we say development of the people, so it will automatically lead to organizational development, because an organization develops through its people only. So, the next aspect is the monitoring. So, what does the human resource management department monitor? Well, it monitors the design and administration of the reward system. The practices involved in monitoring are job evaluation, performance appraisal, pay and benefits programs. So, the next function of human resource management is maintaining the ethical hiring practices, aligning with the regulatory environment and the standards, and also maintaining workplace safety, the health, both physical and mental, and the welfare policies that are to be drafted by the human resource management for the benefit of its people, so that they are retained, they are happy, they are satisfied and they are engaged in the workplace. And all these aspects lead to improved performance of the employee, higher morale, which we all know leads to better productivity of the organization, good image of the organization. So, these are some of the important maintaining functions of the human resource management. Then very crucial function is that of managing relationships. So, we talk of relationships, be it the co-worker relationship or be it the relationship of an employee with the employer or the supervisor, the leader, your boss, or it may be with the unions and the management. So, human resource management plays the function of a bridge between the employees and the top management. So, mediating disagreements between employees and employers, employees and other employees is the function of human resource management, and it also does the negotiating part by negotiating contracts and administering the collective agreement. So, a more contemporary function of human resource management today is managing change. So, we all know that our external environment as well as the internal environment of organizations are changing at a very fast pace. So, change is something which is inevitable. So, we say that the only permanent thing in life is change. So, it is difficult for the organizations to change, to anticipate change, to communicate that change to the employees. So, here again the human resource department comes into action, and it is a contemporary responsibility of the human resource people to manage change. So, how they do so? They envision the change in the future and they communicate this vision to its people. So, they set clear goals for performance as per the changing environment, and they help the workforce prepare for and better adapt to any potential changes that might be taking place or may be taking place in the current future. So, up till now we discussed about the functional scope of human resource management. We also discussed about how these changes are taking place and how the human resource management is functioning. What are the various objectives, the 4 key objectives that we discussed, be it societal, be it organizational, the personal objectives or the functional objectives of human resource management. So, we shall continue. Thank you.